Hi everyone, I'm Brian Reed, the head of communications and media at Noblegen. Today we're going to head on into our innovation kitchen with our innovation chef Loren Cameron, and she's going to walk us through a whole bunch of food demonstrations. So without further ado, let's head on in. Welcome to Noblegen and Unite's Innovation Kitchen. Today I'm with our Red Seal certified innovation chef, Loren Cameron. Loren's going to show us how she prepares our texturized Euglena protein in different food demonstration dishes from start to finish. Thanks for having us here today, Loren.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Awesome. It's really great to be here in person and to do this kind of thing again. So, before we get into the food demonstrations, we're going to get into a little bit of an explainer on how we make the texturized Euglena protein. So at Noblegen, we have our own plant where we create or cultivate, and grow Euglena in fermentation tanks. That is eventually cultivated and brought out in a liquid biomass form. We add a little bit of pea protein to it, and then we send it off to our extruders for them to do their thing and extrude the product. So to start, we're going to go with our strips, and as you'll see, they're very meat-like. Like it almost looks like these could be cuts of meat, cuts of cooked meat. So again, we're gonna show you right now how great this stuff is at tearing and what it kind of looks like as you're shredding it and how it mimics animal-like muscle fibers, basically. So if we have a peek here, you'll see how it tears apart there. It's got the fibers that kind of keep it connected, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. And Loren's gonna prepare a dish for us today, and how are we gonna go about that?
Yeah, so as Brian kind of just explained, it tears really nicely, and so when I first started working with this, the first thing that came to mind was pulled pork. So the first dish we're going to show is a pulled pork taco. All right, so before we get started on the pork, I'm just going to put together a quick fresh salsa. Pulled pork heated up. So the really interesting thing about this is it takes on the flavor very easily of what you're cooking it with. So it's a very kind of neutral type natural flavor that it has. So I love working with it because it just picks up the flavors so easily. So all I'm going to do is I add a little bit of oil to this pan. I'm going to add some of our pulled pork and let it heat up a little bit. So that's also one of the reasons we can use it in so many different applications. We can use it for pork, we can use it for chicken, we can use it for beef, just because it takes on the flavors that you're cooking with it. And here at Noblegen, we really love fermenting things and kind of playing with different foods. So a little while ago, I actually fermented some ketchup for the staff here, and I still had some in my fridge, so I actually just whipped up a quick barbecue sauce to go with it. So it's a nice kind of smoky, sweet with a little bit of spice sauce. It's going to go perfect for our tacos and really complement the freshness of the salsa that we're going to put on top. And give it a little bit more of that meat texture. And all we want to do is kind of heat it up to that 165. We're not really looking to kind of cook it all the way through. We just always want to meet that mark for anything that we're reheating. All right, that should do it. So we're ready to plate here. Like I said, I've kind of kept it pretty simple. So we're just going to throw a little bit of a avocado vegan mayo straight onto our corn tortillas. Add some of that pulled pork that we just cooked up. It's nice and saucy.
Looks really pulled porky.
There you go, some fresh salsa. Now, are you a cilantro person or not a cilantro person?
I am not a cilantro.
No cilantro.
But you're
All right.
you're Red Seal certified, so I'll trust whatever you want to do.
All right, well, we'll throw a little bit of cilantro on yours, and then I quite like cilantro, so we'll put a bit more on mine. It's a nice little garnish and a pop of some green there. And then, yeah, I think we are good to go, guys.
All right, shall we eat? Let's
Perfect.
give these a shot.
My mouth's been watering, so here we go.
Look very pulled porky. I'm very excited. It smells delicious.
Bon appetit.
It's good. I do like the sauce. The fermented ketchup sauce is really nice.
It's got like a nice little bit of heat.
Look at it though. That looks just like pulled pork. Tastes like it. So the next dish we're gonna move on to show you guys the versatility of the TEP. So next we're gonna do a chicken dish. So with the chicken dishes and some of the other dishes, we generally use these chunks of the TEP. So it's dehydrated. You can see it kind of looks like a pork rind. So all we really have to do is add a little bit of liquid to it. It brings it back to life, and it tastes like chicken and looks like chicken. So I'm very excited for Loren to show us the next step. What kind of dish are we gonna do with the chicken?
So we're gonna keep it pretty simple, and we're gonna do a chicken stir fry. So just some fresh veg in there, a little bit of stir fry sauce, and put it on top of some rice, and let the TEP do its thing. Alright guys, so we're just about to reheat the TEP here. So like Brian was saying earlier, it's really simple to rehydrate. All you have to do is add some liquid to it. The nice thing about it is once it's done taking the moisture it needs, it doesn't take any more. So you can simply kind of get it to the moisture you want and then drain out any extra. So it also really takes on the flavor of whatever you're adding to it. So I have some actual like vegan chicken broth here that we're gonna pour in. That should be good enough. And give it a little stir. And then we can move on to start to cook our vegetables. And by the time we are done that, this will be good to go. Usually it takes about 5 minutes or so for it to fully rehydrate. But again, because it doesn't take extra moisture, once it's done, it doesn't need to be drained immediately. So it can sit for 10-15 minutes while you're doing something else, and then you can get back to it and drain it. All right, there we go. All right, so we have our drained TEP here, and I'm just gonna add it straight into the pan, let it heat up for a little bit, and then add the sauce in.
All right, so the Euglena texturized protein chicken stir fry is done, and Loren's just gonna plate it for us. It looks great, can't wait to eat it.
Yeah, so we're just gonna throw it on top of some jasmine rice here. Get some of those fresh veggies and chicken going on. There you go. Finish it with some sliced green onions. And there you go.
All right, let's give it a taste. Looks good, can't wait. Let's try to get a big old chunk of it. The TEP. Oh geez, forks are hard.
All right, first impressions, what do you think?
Surprise, right? Again, it looks just like chicken. I mean, look at this. Looks just like chicken, tastes like it, similar texture, everything. It just feels bang on. I can't believe how close it is. I just want to keep eating it.
Okay.
All right, so we've had a pulled pork dish, we've had a chicken dish. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna show you guys a little bit of what we can do for a tuna dish. So you've already seen the strips that we've used and the chunk that we used for chicken. Well, here's the flaky texturized Euglena protein that we use for tuna. So basically all we do, again, is add moisture to this, and it'll take on the flavor of whatever moisture it is, and then we'll put it in a dish and then we'll give it a taste.
All right, so as Brian mentioned earlier, I'm working with our flaky TEP. So this is quite similar to our more chunky chicken style TEP. It rehydrates really simply just with a little bit of water. For this one, actually, I did something a bit different. I rehydrated it earlier with a little bit of liquid smoke and a seaweed reduction to give it a bit of a smoky tuna flavor. I actually then re-dehydrated it, and so now all we're gonna do is add a little bit of water and some other seasoning in it. So again, it kind of just takes what it needs, and this one rehydrates a lot faster, so you can kind of just give it a stir and wait until it gets that consistency you want. You can already see it starting to come together and really getting that tuna look. Now, since I'm adding a little bit of an avocado vegan mayo, I'm not gonna let it rehydrate completely with just the water. Go in and add some of this in now. All right, so that's starting to shape up to kind of the consistency that we're looking for. To that, I'm gonna add some green onions. And that's quite literally our tuna salad. All right, once again, guys, we're keeping it pretty simple. We're just doing a classic tuna salad wrap. I'll put some lettuce down there, some of our smoked tuna mixture, and then just wrapping it up.
Smells like a smoky tuna. Looks like a smoky tuna. See that? Look at that, nice little texture. Little tuna melt like Grandma used to make. Love it. I was gonna throw that away, but I'm gonna just eat it now. Tastes like a flaky tuna. I mean, just the same consistency. I like the little flaky chunks. It's nice, the smoky flavor you did.
The texture is spot on with this one.
Yeah. It's not, sometimes it can be a bit chewy, but with the flakes, it just kind of dissolves in your mouth. It's really nice. Cool. Well, thanks. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Well, Loren, I think we've taken up enough of your time today. I really appreciate you making the time and making all this great food for us.
It's always great having you guys here in the kitchen and getting to show you what's happening at the Noblegen kitchen here.
Awesome. I think you nailed everything. I mean, the chicken tasted like chicken, the pork tasted like pork, the tuna tasted like tuna. Everything was really great. And I want to give you and the product development team out in Minneapolis a lot of credit for how far we've come with all of our products. We've come all the way from Marini tasting powders to finished food products. And I really honestly can't wait to see what you and the rest of the team can come up with next. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.